Oh, you know what? Every once in a while, your sound cuts out when the cable comes undone. It's so bad. No, do not tell me to read my comments, Anna, no matter how awesome you may be. I didn't have my comment section up. I had my banner up. So, Alexa, resume the Raider Bear. And then I was saying it's huge. I swear, it's a long shirt. So you got some. No, I'm not gonna pull my shirt back. No, I'm not gonna pull my sleeve back. I'm not gonna do that. No. You just have to believe me, okay? It's a ball of lightning. You know, everyone has mic issues from time to time, okay? Just usually the mic issues aren't user error. Oh, I hate technology. I literally hate technology. Oh, God, that's terrible. Hi, Kim. I'll keep you interested. I promise. Sound! Start over! Oh. Raiders! And there's the gong. Alexa, shut your mouth. All right, we're done here. What's up, fam? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all tuning in for this show episode on Friday with sound. I apologize. It's not funny. I do this show long enough. What happened was my mic popped out at the cable because we were cleaning up around the desk right before showtime. And when it does that, it automatically goes on like permanent mute until you unmute it. It doesn't even allow my system, StreamYard or Facebook or anyone to plug it back in. And so that's why that happened. So I'm sorry. I'm telling you all that so that it somehow seems like it's not my fault when in reality it completely is. Traitors! Raider, bear, blah, 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 blah. John, the lion, Leon. You know, my signals on the winners are so memorable, you know, they would have known, even with my having no sound. That's John the lion. You know it is. Come on. I'm sorry, I feel stupid. Jim Vanderland, the heavyweight champion of the world, messing around in the silver middleweight rounds, just screwing with Mark Vargas's territory over here. What are you doing, man? I don't know where Mark Vargas is. Oh, there he is. He almost got third. Because he didn't get third because of Cam Calhoun. You guys know I love it when a Raiderette slides into the sausage fest that is my medal round and wins one from the dudes. Good job, Kim. All right, so welcome to the show. Sorry about that. All mic issues have been corrected and fixed, and we are on our way. Bear, I'm at the Kraken game with my daughter, but I had to come on and try to beat Luckeye Pace. I have to watch the replay. Right on, Dustin. Oh, it's my guy. Facebook, numero uno, el jefe, number one. My first supporter ever. Anna Diaz Rincon! You see, I saved the best one for you, Anna. I even rolled the R. You know how much I love you, girl. All right, moving forward. Second place. Silver medal in my Facebook round. Chris Strong! Uh-oh, Dustin King thought he should have been somewhere in here, and he did not make it. Welcome, Chris. Welcome to the show. Good to see you, brother. Third place, my bronze medal goes to Troy Gill, who always asks me, Bear, anything new today? Kind of, yeah. Kind of got some new stuff today to talk about. I try to get new stuff every day. Some of it you may have heard, but even if it's news you may have heard, if you have questions about it, I may be able to give you a little bit more insight into it because I tend to try to keep up with things with the Raiders every single morning. There's things that are new that get discussed, and so we will do that now. And welcome everyone. Happy Friday. I hope everyone's having a great time. And I hope everyone's having a great time. And I hope now that everyone can hear me, you might consider a subscription to R8RBEAR Family Page. I'm technically challenged too, Kim. Now, I appreciate the no worries, Chris. Much love. Jose Godoy. Much love. Let's see. Raiders, BS, Diddy, Watson might be good. No, there will be no more P.Diddy conversation, okay? I've heard it to death, okay? I'm done with it. Yes, it's shocking that he's in. No, it's shocking. It's shocking. It is shocking that he didn't get bail. But no, it's not shocking that he's in trouble. You know, they bring down the mighty if they do dirt, and he was doing a lot of dirt. No snake pit this week. No trip to D.C. Life is good at my cabin with fire in the pit, beer in hand, and life is good. Right on, Doc Raider. Good to see you, brother. Ramiro! Castro! Clearly. Castro! Much love to you, brother. And stars contributed to the show. Get this incredible bell right here. And their name mentioned because we appreciate it so much here at R8RBEAR Family Page. So please, if you would, please coin if you can, because coinage given to the show goes directly to charities like the Kind Fund, Kids in Need of Desks. We also work with Punks for Autism. And I had the cool, oh no, that's not it, Punks for Autism shirt. There we go. I do have it. And this is one of the designs. I just want to show you guys this. I'll just be real quick because I want to talk about football. But just real quick. Check that out. I've been telling you guys about this one for a long time. It's got this like dead zombie skull lady kind of thing going on. And she's got her hair all twisted in curlers, but they're candles if you look closely. And there's some kind of webbing going to it that she's running through her fingers, but she has 4 arms, and so it's just crazy. That is from Punks for Autism, and you can't find that super sweet art or image on any other shirt with any other company because it's all exclusive to Punks for Autism. So check that out if you haven't already, Punks for Autism, because shirts that are bought there, half the proceeds, sometimes all, are given to autism research. Very cool. Wait a minute. You're kind of scared to watch what? Anyone trying to go to the game on Sunday? Yeah, anyone that needs tickets, hit up Tony Carpenter Evans. She'll make a deal with you, and she's all class. So those two are on 30 minutes before you start. John and Jim cracked me up. Okay. Right? Let's see. Mr. Bear, I can't help but be a little sassy. If you have trouble with your technology, call Mama Bear in the room. She rules. Okay, wait a minute. I know that wasn't Tommy. Hi, Steeler Val. I get to start calling you Raider Val if we win this game. If we win this game, I get to call you Steeler Val for the rest of the year. And if you beat the Raiders, I have to call you Steeler Val, the supreme goddess of the entire universe. And I'll say it. I will. I'll say it. Max Crosby is out Sunday. Devontae Adams is out Sunday. Yeah, Mark, Devontae's out. Max is labeled as questionable. Actually, if I remember correctly, it was doubtful. But you know how that is. I mean, they like to do that sometimes, honestly, by the request of the player. Sometimes it's the team that's trying to send a message to the other team. Hey, you might see him out there. Don't just assume Max won't be out there trying to, destroy one of your quarterbacks. Well, there's a chance he's going to get a few plays because I happen to know Max Crosby's mama, and she talks about how great a person Max is, and I believe that. So I think that The real reason that Max Crosby has never missed a game is not because he's a glory hound. I don't even think it's necessary because he's super tough. I think it's because he just has an overwhelming desire to be the best. The best. You know what I mean? He wants to be considered number one. And right now, I think he should take this game and either not play at all or just get a handful of snaps in the first and second quarter and then see how he feels at halftime. And if it's not right, you pull him. Now, I would have loved for this to have been the heavyweight fight of Myles Garrett, arguably the best defensive end in football, against Max Crosby, arguably the best defensive end in football. I think he's a little better. I do. I think he's faster than Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett is stronger. I think he does it more like the Bosa brothers do. So although I like him, I don't love him like I do Max, only because I feel like Max and Myles Garrett are almost the same player. The only difference is Myles does it with raw power and some inside skill, and Max does it with raw speed and some power and inside skill. And so I feel like this was the game where Max and Myles could really separate themselves. And now to find out both guys are so banged up that neither guy might play is pretty disappointing. But, and I hate to say this, but this is a season changer. You know what I mean? You need to get to 2-2. The Browns are wounded. I know we are too, but the Browns are wounded. Now, we have what is arguably 6 to 7 players on the injured list. And when I say arguably, what I mean is like, for example, Tyree Wilson's on the injured list, but he is absolutely going to play. There's no doubt about it. He got full practice all week. So is he really on the injury list? You see what I mean? If he got full practice all week and he's great and he's good to go, and he's been saying that in his interviews, he's great and he's good to go. So I would say honestly, the 7 to 8 players we have on there, it's really more like 5 guys, and then the rest of the 3 or 4 players that are on the list are all full practice for the whole week and they're ready to go, including Colton Miller and so on. So interesting stuff. Now let me just go over that real quick since you guys don't have a lot of questions up for me right now, and then I'll come back and I'll read your questions again. Okay, so just real quick, I'm going to cover the Raiders list because it's just easier, and then I'll hit the Browns because it's longer. So did not practice all week. Max Crosby, Divine Diablo, our middle linebacker, Thayer Munford Jr., our right tackle, and it's an ankle-knee issue. He's out. I don't think he's going to – I'm almost positive he's not going to play. It's probably going to be DJ Glaze at right tackle. Okay, Colton Miller. Here's what I was talking about before with the players that maybe shouldn't have been on this list. Colton Miller is on there for his shoulder, but he got full practice all week. He is a go. Anyway, DeCamarion Richardson did not play. He's out all week. That's 4 people so far. I mean, he's out of the game for sure. He didn't practice all week. And then you've got did not practice Thursday and Friday for Michael Mayer, but Michael Mayer is not injured. It's a how do you say? It's an NIR. It means non-injury related, but it doesn't tell you anything other than that. It just says personal reasons. So it could be any number of things. It could be his mom or his dad or his uncle or his cousin died, and and he feels bad about it, and so he's going. Okay. Also out, obviously, Devontae Adams. He had a limited practice Thursday, but didn't feel right on Friday, so he's out. And then Amir Abdullah is questionable because he was at practice Wednesday and Thursday, but they had him in protocols with the doctors. They released him on Friday, but he didn't actually practice. They treated that as additional rest. And then they said he's questionable. I think that questionable is solid. If we don't get our running game going, he may be the guy that we reach out to and say, hey, come on, just give us a few snaps so we can give Zamir a break, and then we'll put him back out there. Okay, now, as opposed to the Browns, and I want everyone to, this is just to get everyone a little bit happy about this. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offensive linemen, 6. Wow, I just saw the other one. 6 offensive linemen for the Browns on the injured list. And of those 6, they gave no injury report information. They did not update their Friday. Now, let me see if they did. Maybe I need to refresh. Let me see. Okay, very good. They're up here. Very good. Because as early as this morning, I saw nothing. They had no Friday report, but the Raiders did. So I thought that was surprising. So they just turned it in late, I guess. All right, so here we go. Jack Conklin, their right tackle, is out. That's incredible. Their tight end, David Njoku, he is out. That's one of their better weapons. Pierre Strong, their running back, good kid, but he is out. Could not practice all week, so he absolutely will not play. And then another one of their tackles, Jedrick Wills, did not practice all week. He is declared out. Alex Wright is one of their defensive ends that would have, picked up the slack behind Myles Garrett. He's banged up. He only had limited practice all week, so he's a question mark. They didn't give a word to his status. They just left it as a question mark. Myles Garrett himself did not practice, limited practice, and then Friday he got a full practice. Now, he was originally ruled out because this was a foot, an Achilles strain, and a thigh contusion. So he was in pretty bad shape, and all of that, from what I read, the foot injury, the Achilles, and the thigh are all on the same leg. That means you're usually out. So I got to imagine that he's going to play, because otherwise, how did he get a full practice on Friday? But that's a lot to come back from when they originally were thinking he wasn't going to practice. Or wasn't going to play, because Wednesday he didn't practice at all, and then he got limited in full. So he's probably going to play. I would have to imagine that that's why they're leaving Max Crosby at maybe status, because he probably wants to play with that going on. Raiders C-Dub, I saw Myles Garrett out too, but then Friday I'm saying Friday like it's past tense. Today, he got a full practice, and then his status is just question mark. There's no word for it. So usually that means they're going to play. Mr. Bear, you never get to call me Raider foul. Well, okay, maybe 1 week if you beat us. Max had signed my husband's jersey. He gets a lot of comments when they see it. The autograph is in silver. Nice. Devontae Adams is a hamstring, Jim. Michael Mayer's on the list too. Tanamoku. I'm not excited about that, but at the same time, I kind of am, because I felt like part of Luke Getsy's problem was that he was trying to mix the ball around too much, and he was trying to do it within the same play schedule. It was a little predictable. Even some other people around football are just basically saying that Luke Getsy's play calling and scheme style are predictable. And so if you do enough film study, he doesn't go deep enough into the playbook where he's going to throw something at you, a wrinkle, for example, that you've never seen. It's not his MO. He has 15 to 20 plays, and he kind of cycles in between those, and he mixes and matches the player personnel on them. But that's not effective. If someone does enough film study of him, they're going to have most of his playbook. Now, is he going to throw a few plays out there that they don't know? Of course. But, a play here and there is not going to win a game. Yeah, and also Anna, they didn't specify on Mayer. I said, but what I was getting at was, with Mayer out, we're going to bring in one of our more blocking tight ends, a guy that can, play, say, like Bryant, who can catch the ball, but we don't really need him to do that. He'll be out there more to block, and then we'll put Brock Bowers all over these guys. I think Brock Bowers could end up being an MVP for us here. I really do. I think he could end up being a captain and really looked at as one of the best players on this team very quickly. Call me crazy, but I'm looking forward to seeing the Raiders go this Sunday. I believe we will see something positive. Well, Ramiro, I have to agree with you. I feel like when you have two wounded teams, but one is wounded with an upside, a wounded team that feels like we're supposed to be better than this. We're supposed to have a winning season. We have a great roster, but we only have good quarterback play. We have some great people on defense. We have some great people on offense, but not at quarterback. And we have to get great quarterback play. And until we do, we're not going anywhere. No matter how good this defense is, we have to get better quarterback play. And that has nothing to do with or anything to do with our previous quarterback. I don't feel like he would have done anything with this defense. I don't. I think we would be 1 win better, more than likely. Instead of being 1-3, we'd be 2-2, more than likely, or 2-1. Better, but not that much better. I don't know that Derek would have won the game against the Ravens. I don't know that he would have won that game. I realize we won the one we were supposed to lose, and we lost the one we were supposed to win. But I've watched Derek already with the Saints, and he's looked good. And then the second they played a tough team, they wet the bed. Yeah, Jacoby Myers. You mentioned others: Christian Wilkins, Brock Bowers, but Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. There's where you're going to see it. Trey Tucker is going to be out there, and I don't know. I feel like the running game, they want to establish it. That's important. But I feel like the only reason why Trey Tucker isn't getting an opportunity to really flourish and become something else is they are sticking so much to the run. And I want them to. I want them to get Zamir going. I want Alexander Madison to give us something. I think between both guys, we can get 120, 130 yards if they just get consistent snaps. But that's hard to do if the other team is showing momentum with their offense. They're moving the ball. It seems inevitable that they may get a touchdown or two. If that's the case, you have to play to match that. Go aggressive again. I'm not saying we shouldn't run, abandon the run entirely, but I'm saying pass, run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. I'm serious. Attack them. You know what I mean? Get them on their heels. Get their defensive line on their heels. Then unleash the run. If that's how you have to play it because that's where your personnel is right now, then do that. Don't get caught up in all these old school, things when you don't have an old school roster. And then also we have to look for, one of the big things we'll have to look for is whether or not they get away from this new blocking philosophy of Luke Getsy. Luke Getsy's blocking philosophy is fugazi. And if he doesn't get off that blocking style quick, he's going to be looking for a job. Because I just don't think that our offensive line has the personnel to play that way. If you ask our guys to come out of their stance and physically go forward and maul that defensive line, that's what we do. That's what these guys are good at. And as soon as they started getting good at it, we bring in a guy who doesn't block protection that way. That doesn't run a block protection scheme that way. Now I know it's Tommy, even though he signed it. Mr. R8RBEAR, I think Mr. Pierce needs to put foots in Mr. Getsy. Well, honestly, Tommy, he's going to have to do something I think he didn't feel like he'd have to do. He's going to have to open the playbook up more now. Whether the players understand it completely or not, whether the players are completely on board or not, he has to let it run and make them accountable for knowing what the audibles and transitions are. If it goes deep into the playbook, so be it. That's on them. They've got to get out there and perform. It's their jobs. It's not just a sport anymore. It's their jobs. So if they're expected to go out there and perform on those plays, then make them do it. You know what I'm saying? What's happening, little buddy? Love to Linda. My guy, Winchy! What's up, Winchy? Welcome to the show, brother. Always there for R8RBEAR. Still the only person that sent me to dinner, all expenses paid, for my wedding anniversary. So mad respect, sir. Mad respect. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. He even says he kind of owed me one because I'm the one that got his fiance to marry him. Hey, man, he's the third, okay? Don't get it twisted. That's why I celebrate love, okay? That's the third couple I've gotten married. And I've been to two of the others' weddings. 2 of the 3 weddings I was at. I was at Victor Remy's wedding, and I was at my friend Tim's wedding. I think it's Tim Scott. I forget. It's been years since I saw him. He was a Raider fan. He is a Raider fan, and he's watched my show for years, but the last couple years I haven't seen him as much. I think he's just a work hog. So I don't want to talk trash. He didn't stop watching me. I think he's a good dude, and I love his wife. I met the two of them, and then I said, hey, you guys should do this. And then they did. Then they asked me to go to their wedding, and I did. My guy, Jesse. What's up, Jesse? Welcome to the show. Stephen Shaw, always there for R8RBEAR. Sorry I missed you today, brother. With all them people out, hopefully we can win for Cleveland. Get a win from Cleveland. Richard Silva, honestly, that's how I feel. I just feel like when two teams are both beaten up, it's the team that really has the better built team and philosophy that's going to win that game. For example, I don't like the Browns coach. I don't know if the Browns roster likes the Browns coach. I think that he's starting to fall out of favor because they're just not building a winner. And you can argue like any other team. They want to say, oh, we were injured here, we were injured there. Dude, you have running backs, you have wide receivers, and you have Deshaun Watson. Okay, now I'll be honest with you, I'll be the first person to say that I feel like Deshaun Watson is P.Diddy right now. He's shot. You know what I mean? Because these cases are coming. People like P.Diddy, they're going to jail now. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of money anymore. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of fame and power anymore. Those things are starting to come to a stop. And it's strange to say it because there was just a time when we in society, we just accepted that there was going to be a certain amount of things that rich people get away with because they're wealthy. It's just something we've been taught as a society, especially the middle class, who have the money to go to these same bars. We have the money to go to these same restaurants that a lot of these celebrities go to. They may have more money than us, but not so much more that I can't go to the club one night because Paris Hilton is going to be there or Shaquille O'Neal is going to be a guest DJ. Well, I can go. If there's a cover charge, I can afford that. If you have to buy drinks, I can afford that. I'll buy dinner too. But in this instance, I got off my analogy. But in this instance, if a team is beaten at 17 guys, okay, realistically 14, but that's still an incredibly high number of guys on their injury list. They're that banged up. So the Browns, this should be interesting. Now, if you want me to, let me give you a couple of things that are even more interesting. The Browns have some guys at middle linebacker that are more of the middle linebacker that you're seeing nowadays. Walks around at 235, 240, where that's a heavier guy for this NFL because now you got guys that walk around at 225, 235 at max. So they can run with these tight ends and these wide receivers and running backs coming out of the backfield. Well, they're kind of built like that. Their linebackers aren't huge, and so they're going to be able to run with Brock Bowers a little bit. So I'm interested to see how their linebackers and safeties will defend Brock Bowers, especially with Devontae Adams out. Now you can put a little bit more focus because Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker haven't earned that respect. They're not going to double those guys. They're going to send normal coverage to them, and then they're going to slide the safety or the free safety down to help linebackers bracket Brock Bowers. Do you see how I dodged that tongue teaser? Bracketing Brock Bowers? Say that 3 times fast. Bracket Brock Bowers. I already messed it up. Someone needs to tell Max Crosby that he needs to rest. He can't play and cause more injury damage than he's out for he could be out for the rest of the season. I completely agree. Once again, my lovely friend Corinna makes an absolutely correct analogy in this football scenario. I completely agree. I think we should try to beat the Browns, obviously, but I don't feel like you should take risk with your best player. Is Devontae out there? And does anyone think that if this were a playoff game that Devontae wouldn't go? Because I guarantee you he would. His hamstring injury is bad, but it's not, I'm going to tear my Achilles, I'm going to tear my hamstring if I play. It's not that. Is it sore? Yeah. Is he feeling bad? Sure. But I feel like this is a precaution game for Devontae Adams, not an injury. I think everyone will be all right, but it drives me nuts that many have already gave up on the Raiders. Anna, honestly, any fan base is susceptible to this when your fan base has gone through as much as we have gone through. We have gone through as a fan base so much that it just... I don't fault fans for having a problem with what's happened. I just don't. I have very close friends that I consider family that are Raider fans that now refuse to go to games. They just will not pay to go to games. They will not buy tickets. They're Raider fans. They root for the Raiders. They wear the Raiders gear. But they refuse to invest in anything that benefits Mark Davis. They just won't do it. Now, to them, buying a hat here and there, that's not the same thing. You buy a jersey here and there, that's not the same thing. They have refused to buy tickets. And they love the Raiders. They root for the Raiders the same. They go to the parties. They even tailgate some of them. I'm not going to name names. I don't want to do that. It's not fair. But they will not go to, and some of you know them. I don't really have to say. Some of you know them. There's just a few, what you would call super fans, and a few that are just, everybody knows them. Not necessarily super fans, it's just everybody knows them. And they don't make it anymore. You know what I mean? And I can't fault them. You know, can you? I mean, in reality, why do we have this sense of like banishing a fan if they can't make it to games or they don't wear their gear to things anymore? Guys, ladies, it's the real world. Tickets are more expensive than they've ever been. Ever. Raider tickets are more expensive than they've ever been. Ever. Okay? And that's just a reality. Not everyone is rich. Not everyone has disposable income. A lot of people have family and children and husbands and, you know, cousins that live in their house and so on that, you know, they're kind of responsible for. And now you're going to ask a person, on average, to put down at least $1,000 to get 2 tickets, pay for parking, food and beer and all that other stuff. You know, you're getting up over $1,000. And that's a lot of money for a lot of people. You know what I mean? To just be throwing at a football game that, you know, you don't even know your team's going to win, which, you know, sucks because your fan base is supposed to be taught, hey, root for the team because you never know when we're going to suddenly, you know, get in there and kick some butt, which is how I've always felt. You know, I'm always on the verge of, hey, this is the season where we turn it around. And then for the next 5 years, we're competitive. We're in, you know, the playoffs every season and threatening. I feel like that's around the corner. I really do. I felt like the John Gruden thing, in a way, was a blessing. That the things came out in the scandal and Roger Goodell went after him. Personally, I think that's somewhat of a blessing. He was not going to have an innovative offense. He just wasn't. He wasn't going to bring an innovative offense. He was going to bring something slow that plodded down the field and threw here and there. You know, and I wasn't excited about him. I didn't want him to get railroaded the way he did. But can you make an argument that John Gruden made anti-female, anti-black, anti-gay, anti-lesbian statements, anti-Roger Goodell statements? Yes, 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 and yes. You know, and that's his own fault. I realize he wasn't even in the NFL when those emails were sent. But that has nothing to do with where he was when those emails were found. He was in the NFL. And so Roger Goodell went game hunting and got him. Then John tried to respond. He got it into court. Everything looked fine. And then the NFL's lawyer said this should be an arbitration, i.e. NFL court, because these are NFL matters, not legal law matters meant for a normal court with a judge. And the law agreed and sent it back to the NFL and arbitration. And the second they did that, it was over. You won't hear another word about it in the news until Gruden loses. And that will take a while because Gruden's got enough money to keep this in court for years. And why not? He has disposable income, guys. He has well over $100 million in the bank. Well over $100 million in the bank. For sure. For sure. You have to remember that 10 years that he wasn't a coach, he was working for ESPN almost every season, running camps and everything. He was banking it. Okay? And then he gets that massive 10-year contract from Mark Davis. He has to pay for almost half of that. That's a lot more, Jack. So he ain't going anywhere. And then he's got that house in Vegas. John Gruden could sell his house in Vegas and he'd make another mint. You know, and just move somewhere else, and then it'll be another dope house. It'll just be, you know, smaller. But he's older. He's out of the public eye. Who'd even care that he's in a smaller house at this point? So he still won at life, but he didn't beat the NFL. He had a shot. He almost got him, but he didn't get him. I've said this before, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, But if we're going to get the run going, we need to get away from that zone blocking me crap and go with power blocking. What's the personnel is built for. Honestly, Jim, you heard me say it. I mean, before I got to your comment, we need to let our guys be who they are. And right now, the Raiders coaching staff is squeezing the coal so hard, a diamond's going to come out. The booties are too tight right now. They were loose going into the season, but now you got a lot of tight booties because we're 1-2 and we can't fall to 1-3. You fall to 1-3, your season's in jeopardy. Because even though our schedule still looks flexible the rest of the way, and by flexible what I mean is winnable. There are very winnable games still ahead of us, especially after we face the Broncos and the Chiefs. You got to look at the schedule and what it looks like from there. And it gets really, really interesting. Where'd my schedule go? I think I lost my schedule. I had the schedule up. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So, Browns, winnable. Broncos, winnable, whether it's on the road or not. Pittsburgh, it so happens we get them at home, so that gives us a little bit of an advantage. And hopefully, if Max takes this game off, then gets well against Denver, because we're going to beat Denver. I do not consider Denver a trap game. I do not even consider Denver a challenge game. I don't respect their coaching staff. I don't respect what's going on there. I feel like their head coach is a prima donna that's got the job just for a contract. Soon he'll move. He'll go to something else, and he'll win again, but he's not going to do it with the Broncos. He's doing what Harbaugh's doing right now. He's going to run around for 4 years hollering, shouting at teammates and players. He'll talk to the press every once in a while. He'll give cliched BS, and then after year 3, they'll be talking about letting him go, and he'll be talking about retiring, go back to college or somewhere else, probably both coaches. Okay, so Cleveland, winnable. Denver, winnable. Pittsburgh, winnable. With respect, Steeler Val. Los Angeles, winnable. They're super banged up. Now, they're also super athletic. They have like 5 wide receivers that run 4.2s. I mean, they are very dangerous. And obviously, they have a veteran quarterback. So if he's healthy and we have to go into Vegas, into Los Angeles, which we do, that's a tough fight. But of course, it's October 20th, so Boza will be injured. So at least we don't have to worry about him. He already is, and he'll still be injured by the time he'll get a new injury by the time we get to that game. He'll have a new pain in his donkey. Then after the Rams is Kansas City. Obviously, Kansas City's always a trap, whether it's for them or for us. In other words, we beat them twice last year. We might beat them twice this year, and they might still make it, obviously, to the playoffs and win another Super Bowl. Who knows? I feel like the NFL has that in the bag. I'm just going to keep saying it because I want everyone to remember I did. I feel like there's a real chance that the proof now that the NFL is fixed may be out there because they may just want this three-peat because they're a traveling muscle circus and they want to keep their most loyal fans interested. And the Kansas City fans are the most loyal fans right now. Now, not more loyal than the Raiders, but perceived that way by the NFL and PR because of rings. Because they're always going to be bandwagon teams are always the trend. So if the team that wins the Super Bowl this year is someone that just comes out of nowhere, let's say somehow by some weird quirk, the Atlanta Falcons won. Well, then they would suddenly be, we got to feature the Atlanta Falcons, because they're that dirty team that came out of nowhere, the Dirty Birds. Oh, what are they going to do this year with their comeback? Can they go 2 for 2, or will the Chiefs come back and surprise them? Blah, 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 blah. And so, you never know. So after Kansas City, the reason I brought all that up is because after Kansas City, you got to figure Joe Burrow's always banged up now. You're facing the Bengals, and you're doing that on the road, but they're the Bungles. Then you have the Miami Dolphins right after that. So back-to-back road games. Tough schedule, but again, Miami's been, treading water barely because they're on a backup quarterback. Then Denver again, this time with them in our house. Okay, then Kansas City again. So we're only 3 weeks removed from Kansas City. So Kansas City, October 27th, then November 3rd, November 17th, November 24th, then last game of November, the 29th, we get Kansas City again, and that's the one where we go on the road. So this little run we're going to try to go on against Cleveland, Denver, Pittsburgh, right? That's just 3 games. If we somehow miracle and beat the Rams on the road, you come home for the Chiefs and a chance to go 5 Come on, man. We got to do this. I think the offensive line is better than we give it credit for. I just think they have to let them run the scheme that they're the most confident with, and that is get up, go forward, and smash guys, and then stop telling Gardner Minshew he can't roll out. If he needs to roll out or he feels the rollout, just let him do it. Just let him do it. You can't squeeze that guy and say, do these things. You can't take a guy like that, a journeyman, and try to turn him into something else. Do you think the Colts did that? Because I guarantee you the Colts didn't do it, and they whipped our ass with the same guy against this defense, and he gave it to us. And now we're not supposed to believe in this guy? Well, it's because you're micromanaging him. Let him play. The guy we saw in the playoffs, listen to me. Playoffs. The guy we saw in the preseason rolling out too much was completing plays, moving the ball, and scoring touchdowns. So if he chooses to roll out once in a while because that's what makes him feel good, makes him feel safe, makes him feel like he's helping the offensive line extend the play, then let him do it. Come on, man. Greg Lloyd, what's up? Welcome to the show. Salute Bear. What's up, Raiders Nation? Salute. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show, Tony. Robert Lassiter, I love the optimism on the Bear. This season is over with the offense has to do way more. Robert Lassiter, great profile picture. Welcome to the show. Looking beautiful. But I got to tell you, brother, I am excited because unlike in the past when we've had seasons like this, we haven't had a coach this strong before. This mentally strong before. And so with that mental strength, old school base, and two successful veteran head coaches on either side of him, which I thought was a massive move that showed all of us as Raider Nation the kind of coach this guy is. He came in to win, to change us to the Raider way, getting away from all that Patriot nonsense that was being fed to us for a few minutes. We're not saying that guy's name again, okay? McDumdum is gone. And now we have a solid old school coach that's calling his players out in public. And for those of you who don't like that and say it should have been kept in the locker room, I'll say the same thing to you that Coach said. I don't bite my tongue, and I like it. I like it. Did I say I like this? I like this. I like this. I really do. I don't care if he loses the locker room. Did Belichick ever care about a locker room? Never. Not once. And what happened? His players love him because they know he doesn't mean any harm. He just tells every guy, line up and do your job. And if you can't do your job to a level that contributes to the success of this football team, I will say, it's sorry that things didn't work out. I hope you get another shot with another team. Adios. Why do I have to give him more than that? If it's me, if I was Coach AP right now, why should I give him more than that? I'm not trying to make friends. I'm trying to win football games. And if you at right tackle can't get it done, Cody Whitehair, if you can't get it done at left guard, you know what's going to happen? Dylan Parham is back. He's 100%. We can move him to left guard because that was his old position with Colton Miller. Colton Miller has already talked about how it's been different, trying to be nice, learning how to play with Cody Whitehair, which is a nice way of saying we're not gelling right now. So if you want to put Dylan Parham back at left guard, you can do that. You want to know why? Because we have the nastiest, pancakinest young puppy of a right guard in Jackson Powers Johnson. Check the tape. Who might as well work at Denny's. He makes so many pancakes. Woo! The Bear said it. Pun foots in Cody Whitehair. Okay? Because the spotlight's on you, brother. Thayer Munford's hurt. He was playing pretty good, and I don't want to hear it from people who don't want to hear it about Thayer Munford. Get over it. He was playing good football. Did a couple of guys like Bosa get him? Of course. But that guy can play. We can laugh at him all we like. We can all recognize that he's a jackwagon because he is, and he opens his mouth too much, and he flutters with his stupid brown hair far too much, and he's even more egocentric than his brother in San Francisco. Oh, oops, the Santa Clara Niners. Okay? But he can play football. We can dislike him all we like. But you don't ever hear any of us say Khalil Mack can't play, do we? Because we know he can. So if he comes on, he talks trash and says he's going to take it to us, we should probably be worried. Because he's done some work with Colton Miller in the past. I'm not saying he's just going to beat up Colton Miller, because he's older than he's ever been, and Colton Miller is in his prime. But, we better hold on tight on that matchup. Will Nanoff, that's all right, brother. Welcome to the show. Always good to see you, brother. Doc Raider, to use an analogy about our offensive line and something I can't believe Getsy doesn't understand, if Tom Brady, who was pretty much a statue, was your quarterback, wouldn't you install the same offense that you would for Michael Vick? No, you would not, exactly. You can't ask two quarterbacks that aren't exactly the most fleet of foot, to then have a blocking scheme that expects that, he's that kind of quarterback that can evade and move. And to be quite honest with you, we don't give Gardner Minshew enough credit. We're going with this sort of what have you done for me lately attitude with Gardner Minshew, when in reality, the guy's been good almost his whole career. You know what I mean? So he's having a little hiccups with us. So what? Guys, he's on a brand new offense with a brand new offensive coordinator. I mean, come on. He had to fight for the starting position in the preseason only to win it at the last minute because he threw one less interception than AOC. So, exactly, Anna. We shouldn't sugarcoat it. Just put it out there. Michael Guerrero. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Naked Raider always there for Raider Bear. How's the girls doing? You guys, Michael Guerrero, you should see him, man. That's a father right there. I'm telling you should see his daughters. That is a hashtag daughter dad. They're beautiful, super intelligent. You know what I mean? Michael Guerrero's got, I give him a lot of credit as a dad. A lot of credit. I'm not going to read that, JP, but yes. I'll leave it up so everyone else can, though. Bear, but Coach AP indicated this loss was due to one player. I have to disagree, because don't we win and lose as a team? Yes, Corinna, but an old school tactic way, way back in the old days, coaches would go after their best player after a loss as a way of shocking the rest of the roster by saying, hey, man, if I'll go at Kobe and tell Kobe, look, you're shooting too much. I need you to find guys sometimes because we're not that elite Laker team anymore. I need you to facilitate things for guys who need help with that. We don't have a great point guard right now. You know what I mean? And Kobe didn't like it, but he heard him and he started doing it. And you started to see Kobe finish with 6 assists, 8 assists instead of 3 or 4 assists. He was finishing with 6 to 8 assists. Then suddenly, every once in a while, he was sprinkling a little triple-double in there. And would give you 11 assists, 12 rebounds, and 31 points. You know what I mean? And we kind of need that from Gardner Minshew right now. They need to let his offense speak on its own. And they need to change that offensive line's blocking protection and just let them explode off the ball and slam guys. I don't like this zone read defense, this zone read style of offensive line sucks. Well, Troy, you should always be worried about your defense when you're up against Amari Cooper. But Amari Pooper Scooper Cooper can take advantage of young defensive backs. He really can. Amari Cooper is one of the best get off the line at the snap. He's one of the best get offs. He has one of the best get offs ever. I'm not exaggerating. He has one of the best get-offs ever. We can say a lot of things about Amari Cooper that are negative. He drops balls that he shouldn't. He allows himself to get bullied sometimes by defensive backs who have learned that it goes back when he left us and went to Dallas. He got bullied by a few guys. One time in particular was against a guy that they used to call Ant-Man. He played for the Bengals. And he basically took Amari Cooper by the sides of his helmet and slammed his head into the ground twice. And the refs didn't catch it. There was no flag. I don't see how you don't see that, but I think the play, was kind of after what had happened, and so they just missed it, or they just didn't call it because we're the Raiders. I don't know. But to see a guy do that to an offensive player or any player on a football field, and that guy doesn't go back and fight that guy, you don't charge him, you don't run at him and throw him into the ground on a play right afterward or anything. You just get up and go back to the huddle and quietly play the rest of the game. I'm sorry, that's soft. I'm not trying to be macho. I don't feel like guys should be so macho focused in what they do. I think guys should be softer. They should cook for their wives more. They should take their kids out more by themselves to things instead of mom always having to encourage you to take them to the ice capades or Disneyland or stuff like that, or just out for a ride somewhere, maybe Walmart, let them pick a new toy or a new outfit for school or something. I do that all the time. And just, you have to have balance like that. You can't be too macho. You shouldn't give a shit, excuse my French, about what other men think of you if you happen to say, I love my mom, I'm a mama's boy, and if you don't like that, tough. Alexa, resume! Oh no, I think the song was actually over. Alexa, play Hide by NASA.
Hide, Troco's Remix by NASA on Amazon Music.
Fabian Mendoza. It's Fabian Mendoza. Check him out. He's in my friends list. He's on randforlifer.com. If you like this, you can get this cup. He's got shirts, hats, all sorts of super cool hats. He's got those real cool, like tropical big hats, and then it has like a Raider bandana going around it and everything. He's got reasonable prices. Really cool guy. Make sure you tell Fabian Mendoza that the bear sent you, and he'll put a little bit extra in your package. He and I have always been cool like that. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. Active and veteran, much love. God bless you all. You all have a great night. Stephen Shaw, I really appreciate that. Stephen Marchand, I love you. Much love to you. Tanamoku, much love. Let's go. No, we're not going anywhere. Okay, no, don't do that. Show's over. Okay. Now, do I have the energy and the wherewithal and the Raider knowledge to go another hour? Hell yeah, I do. Let's go. Alexa, max volume. Alexa, you're awesome.
Aw, you just made my day.
All right, that's my show. I love you guys. I will see you Monday. If we get a big win Sunday, I may come on for a few minutes and just talk to everybody because it's just fun. If we lose, I tend not to do that unless it's like a really bad loss. Then I'll come on and just lambast them. Lambast them. Look it up. Much love. Talk to you soon. Raider Bear family page. Peace. Hey, subscribe already, okay? YouTube, subscribe already. You guys are starting to piss me off. My algorithm sucks, okay? Tell other Raider fans about a Raider Bear on YouTube. Let's go! That's all in my clothes.